Welcome back to my podcast, Spill the Beans. I know that I have taken a little small hiatus, but it was much needed. These past couple of weeks have been just super crazy, super all over the place. So some of the things that I'm grateful for is number one, that the craziness has not been super crazy, right? It's all been manageable, it's all been things that I can handle. I got some really awesome news that I can't share with you guys just yet, but some amazing things are happening right now. So I am just really excited and grateful for all of that. I got some new opportunities coming my way, so it's super exciting. Um, but that is what that is. I hope everyone is doing amazing. I hope everyone is doing okay. I know these times are a little chaotic and stressful and all over the place. Uh, and for this podcast episode, I thought I would take it back just a little bit to back when I first started sharing my practice. And really, when I first started sharing my practice, it was mostly about whatever information that I was learning, that I was getting, I was also sharing with you. So, any information about herbs or like crystals, I was like, okay, I've learned this information. Let me share this with everyone else so that way, if anyone else wants to know this information, you can know it too. And since I finally got my Book of Shadows together, it's more in order. I just completed part of it. I was like, now is a great time to start that again. So I'm going to be talking about the properties of almonds, right? And that's going to include the metaphysical properties and some of the amazing health benefits that you can get from almonds. I'm also going to include some fun facts here and there. So let's get into it. Welcome back to Spill the Beans podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. Let's get into it. So, while I don't know how to pronounce the name, I think it's always a good idea to know the Latin slash scientific name of whatever herb you're working with. And the reason for that is because sometimes, while lavender may be lavender, right, it could be slightly different. It could be of a different variation, giving it slightly different properties. Some species can be poisonous while others are not. So I think it's a good idea just to be like, okay, let me know the scientific name, the plant family, let me know the other names that this plant goes by. And the reason why it's a good idea to know the other names that said herb plant goes by is because sometimes if you look through the witchcraft books, it'll say one of its other names, and you'll be there like, what is this? I've never heard of it before, and it's just a different name that it goes by, right? And also, if you wanted to kind of like keep it secret on the DL, you could also choose one of those other names. Some of the names that almond goes by is number one, Greek nuts. And first of all, I think that's a hilarious name, right? Just imagine being like, and yes, for this spell, you need some Greek nuts, bay leaves. Like, I feel like that would just be funny to read. And that would crack me up on the inside if I put that down in my Book of Shadows, in my grimoire. Like it would just give me a little chuckle, and that's one of the reasons why I would use that. It's also called Jordan almond, and the wakeful tree. So these are a couple of the names that it can go by. So if you see these, it's the same thing, right? Just put that out there. Keep that in. The planet that correlates with it is Mercury. The element is air, which I think is great because if you know anything about Mercury, Mercury is a planet of communication. It really is about talking, movement. It has a lot to do with relationships in that way. So I think that's very interesting because air has a lot to do with movement, communication, thinking, thought, logic, those types of things. So I think it's interesting and funny how those two correlate as they should. And it also has masculine energy. So keep that in mind when you're working with it. Fun fact about the almond is the Persian god Attis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Attis? Was said to be born from an almond tree. And I just, number one, imagine being born from an almond tree. Crazy. But this tree, almonds are strongly associated with birth, life, death, rebirth. So if you're looking to leave an offering, if you're working with the dead, this is a great thing to use for those types of working. Another fun fact about almonds is people used to use almonds to see how well their travels were going to go, right? So what would happen is they would get some almonds and they would taste it, and if the almond was sweet, it would mean that they would have good travels. And if the almond was bitter, it would mean that they should postpone their travels because it wasn't going to be good. You could do this today. The only thing is, if you do that, make sure you're getting regular schmegular almonds, not the roasted, toasted, lightly salted almonds, right? It can't have like a specific thing to it. It just has to be regular schmegular almonds in order to do that. And I'm a fan of the roasted almonds. I'm a fan of the lightly salted, because it's just so good, right? Almonds are delicious. So if you wanted to try that, you absolutely can. Just keep in mind, they have to be regular. They can't be, all the great stuff. Almonds are also strongly associated with wealth and prosperity, right? So if you wanted to bring money or abundance to you, one of the things that you could do is you could carry some around in your wallet, right? You could put some around your business to bring in that energy of prosperity and wealth and money coming in towards you, which is really awesome. It's a really good thing. Almonds are also really good for wishes and manifesting. So one of the things that I think is really awesome to do with almonds is if you wanted to use it for manifesting, all you had to do is hold it in your hand, right? And think of whatever wish, manifestation that you want to bring in, put that into the almond, right? Be like, I'm putting this energy into that almond, hold it in your hand, and then you can do one of two things. You can either eat it to release that energy out into the universe, or you could just smash it, right? And if you're in a smashing mood, that's always fun. Uh, but it does the same thing. It gets the same stuff done. And I just think that's a great way to use almonds. It's very simple. You can do it anywhere. You could do that like out and about, right? Like you don't even need to have a whole altar set up. If you're out and about, you see an almond and you have it, and you're like, I just want to bring in a certain type of energy for the day, and just take a moment, hold it in your hands, eat it really quick. No one will ever know that you're doing anything magical, right? That's how you slip through the cracks. Secret. So so that's a good idea if you wanted to try something like that. Also, good for bringing in fertility and faithfulness, right? So you could use almonds in your spells and your practice, to just number one, enhance fertility, right? But also, if you're like, I want to make sure that my partner is going to stay with me, they're going to stay faithful, they're not going to cheat, you can use almonds for that. I don't have any specific spells for that one, so sorry. Do I really recommend that one? No. But that's me and my own thing where I'm like, I don't really encourage people to do spells that really control people like that, where it's like, okay, let's try and make this person be faithful. If you have doubts that someone's not going to be faithful, I feel like there's a bigger conversation that needs to be had there. I feel like there's something that needs to go on. Um, but that is just me and my own thoughts and my own opinions. If you are someone who's like, I want to do that spell, do what you will do. Just keep in mind, the potential consequences of your actions. That's what I will say. Right? Sometimes you want someone to be faithful to you, and then all of a sudden they're obsessed with you, and you're like, "Oh God, make it go away. Why are they so obsessed with me?" So, like I said, be aware of the potential consequences of your actions. Also really good to overcome any obstacles, any addictions. And I actually have a fun little spell that I wanted to show you guys for this one specifically, just in case you wanted to overcome any obstacles, if you have any going through any really difficult times, that types of things. For addictions, mostly it's like if you eat it with that energy of like, okay, let me overcome this addiction, works really well, right? Um, but for this very simple spell that I'm going to show you, you could just have a tiny spell jar, right? And put an almond in there, and then we get a bay leaf, Crush it up a little bit. And shove that in there. That was actually very messy. And then we get some eucalyptus and put that in there. Bada bing, bada boom. And what you've just made here is a tiny spell jar that you can carry around with you anywhere to help you overcome any obstacles, any struggles that you may be dealing with. So if you're having a particularly rough or week or day, you can get this out, carry it with you, shake it, put it on your altar, meditate with it, and it will help you overcome any struggles or obstacles that you are dealing with. So that is a fun little tiny simple spell that you can do. Almond wood is also great for making wands. So if you're someone who really likes to use wands in your practice and you find some almond wood out there, it is, especially because it's associated with Mercury and air, and those are elements that are very tied to spirit and your third eye, and deities in general. It makes it great for using as a wand. So if you're like, I want to make a wand, I want to see what that is, get some almond wood. Make a wand. It'll be great. I'm sure you will love it. I'm not one who can. I don't think I'm very artsy like that. Am I artsy? Absolutely. But like to make a wand, I don't know if I have that certain skill set, and I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to do everything in its mama. It's okay. I'm going to play to my strengths is what that one is. Almonds are also great to use in glamour magic. I don't know if you know this, but like almond milk, lots of products have almonds in them, right? You can buy a product that already has, it's already made with almond and use that for glamour magic. Use it to make yourself seem more desirable, more pretty. Um, just if you specifically wanted to get the attention of someone, you could use that energy and infuse that in your products, right? Like I'm a fan of the simple stuff. So if you already have beauty products, face care products, skincare products, and it has one of these things in there, just infuse it with that energy and add it to your routine. And it just makes things so much easier. So that is something that you can try if you wanted to. But, also not everyone's into that, and that is perfectly okay. So on to the great health benefits of almonds, right? Because I think it's important to know the magical properties and the health benefits just in case you wanted to use both. I think it comes in handy, especially if you're someone who likes making like tinctures, oils, um, things like that. If you're into herbalism, it helps to know the medical benefits of it just so that way you can be like, while I also wanted to have this magical benefit, let me make sure that it does what I want it to do health wise, right? So it can improve heart health, strengthen bone, increase skin elasticity, which basically makes your skin look healthier, younger, more vibrant. It just adds more life into it, is really what that is. It can help boost your immune system. It can help increase gut health. So if you have some digestive issues, it can help you there. It can also help lower stress and boost your mood. And it is also a appetite suppressor, which just gives you the sensation of like, oh, I feel full even though I haven't eaten a lot or I haven't eaten all day. So if you were someone who's trying to lose weight, snacking on a couple of almonds could help you because it gives you that sensation of feeling full. So those are just some of the benefits, not all of the benefits, just a couple of them. Um, if you want to know more, please look into that, do some research. This is just a small bit of some of the amazing properties of almonds and a couple of spells and ways to use them. So I hope this helps you. I hope you gain some knowledge from it. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, right? If you have something specifically that you would like me to talk about, let me know. Okay? Thanks, guys.